so I don't get distracted by this wonderful audience here as I tell you my story. I'm going to talk about a couple of things today which are really close to my heart, and there are 3 things that I really took away in the 10 years that I've had as a career. I'm going to kick off with talking about what we think of conventional success or the path. So normally you think that when you start life, your family tells you you have a good school, good college, good job, then you build your career, right? And that's pretty much what everybody's families would tell them. Alright, so I'll start over. How many of you kind of face a situation where you have your life plan laid out in front of you? ऐसे वाले college, ऐसे वाला school, इसके बाद यहाँ पे job, and then by 40s you'll probably be settled. Can we see a show of hands, please? Great. Okay, so sad to know that not much has changed, but I had the same story as well. So I did pretty, well, I wouldn't say badly, but yeah, very average in my 10th standard, and my mom turned around and said that, this is not going to fly, you're not going to get into any college, तुम्हें कहीं pass course या correspondence कराना होगा, and that I don't see any other future for you, job तो मिलनी नहीं है, we'll probably have to settle you down somewhere. That statement scared me so much, but back in the 80s and the 90s, it seemed so real that what she was saying was probably true. So what did I do? I tried to find an opportunity or a way that I could figure out to get into the best college with my little marks. I mean, they weren't so little, but I figured if I got 75 or 80% and I got a quota, I would make it to one of the top 5 or 10 colleges in DU, which is the only option I was given to go to at that point. So in the 10th grade, I was a little chubby, and I decided that we'll start swimming. It seemed lesser of all the evils in the other sports because I didn't have stamina. Little did I know that within 6 months from a beginner, I went to a national level swimmer in the first year. And then I did the same thing in the second year and beat 4 unbeaten records. I think now they're broken, but at least for a decade over, they were unbroken. And then I got into my dream college, which was LSR. But I'll be telling you honestly, I really wanted to come to Hindu. But you guys didn't give me a shot, so LSR it was. And BCom Honours is what I studied there. I struggled a little bit because tomboy, co-ed school, then convent sort of education in college, but I made it my own. And then following the conventional path, I went to Oxford, got my MBA, and then went on to get a job with Deloitte in London, much against my parents' wishes. They thought that, she'll go finish her studies, come back, and then yahan pe kahin naukri waukri mil jayegi. But imagine my horror that when I came back after working with Deloitte in the UK, I was told that my job experience was not relevant to Indian experience. मुझे इतनी जोर का चाटा ना कभी नहीं पता था लाइफ में, because you went through that amazing conventional path, you ticked every box that there was to tick, and then still somebody had the audacity to tell you that it's not good enough, you're not relevant. So I was like, chalo, let's get into our own business. So I'm going to talk about 3 things that you really need to know when it comes to getting into a business. First is, it's okay to not know anything about business. I didn't know jack shit about selling cakes. I didn't know I was going to be a chef. If anyone told me that I would be the owner of a massive multinational company today, would have gone to Shark Tank, I would have said, pagal hai, to kya bol rahe ho? It's not possible. I didn't see that future for myself. But the one thing I did do is I took a bet on myself. I took a chance on myself. I did not wait for people to applaud for everything that I did. And I fought against the voices in my head that kept telling me that I'm going wrong. But I waited for that applause to come. That applause took 10 years to come. That was a long wait. But why did I get into cakes? And why did I choose this particular business? So I don't know if how many of you have seen the Shark Tank episode where I spoke about my wedding and the fact that someone messed up my wedding reception cake. So unlike a lot of you who think about business complexity and ideas, you really put a lot of stress into kya karna hai business mein. Has to be something grand, has to be something amazing. Kisi ne nahi kiya ho. But you guys know that the biggest businesses in the world are something that start off with a very simple idea. And what you have to do is you have to solve a problem. What did Ola do? What did Uber do? They solved a problem. What is Zomato and Swiggy doing? They're solving a problem. This is not rocket science. Well, the rocket science is how to get it to go and how to build the dark stores across India. But the rocket science was not the idea. So my idea was very simple as well. Cake. Let's make a cake. And I started baking cakes. And breaking the norms was, anyone in the industry told me that you had to have a degree. Degree ke bina to hoga hi nahi. You have to have a trained chef degree. And I said, you know what? I just gone to Oxford. A course costs about 15 lakhs. I don't think I can do this because I don't know what the return on investment is going to be. So you know what? I'm just going to YouTube it and figure it out on my own. And that's exactly what I did. I started from my home kitchen and built a brand with a lot of love. There was no Instagram. There was no TikTok. There was nothing. I mean, Facebook was nascent and I didn't know, there was no WhatsApp. So I didn't even know where to find my customer. So what did I do? I went to malls and I put up tables and I sold cupcakes for 70 rupees and 80 rupees. And I was 30 at that point, let me remind you. So that plays a big part. I didn't give up on myself. Even though there were people who came and did pity purchases, everybody knows what pity purchases are all about. Everybody knows those aunties who come and whisper, ki, oh dekho, Oxford se padh ke aayi hai, cupcake bech rahi hai mall mein. It's alright. You learn to develop a thick skin. If no one is going to teach you how to navigate the market, you go to the source yourself. And that's the first thing that I did. I put my pride aside and I stood there as a proud 30-year-old jobless entrepreneur baking cupcakes and I owned it. And that's what got me to grow because people loved the resilience, they loved what my product was. I understood what they wanted, even better than what any consultant could have told me. And we grew the business from there and began Confect. But all was not good. When I started Confect, you have to be resilient and you have to really have self-belief. People told me my product is rubbish. They said it's terrible, isse acha to imported hai, imported is better than Indian. This is one thing that stuck to me forever. And I decided that I'm going to drown them out. So there are two ways that I had at that point to choose which way I wanted to go. Either I decide to educate 1 billion people on how to use my product, और मैं चुपचाप से मैं अपनी जो skills हैं food technology लेके उनके लिए product ऐसे बनाऊं that they would love. Which one do you think I chose?
Second.
Exactly. And that's what led to my success. You put your pride away again. You let better reasons stand in front and tell you that it's okay to give others what they want. You don't always have to push your product on them. If they're asking for something, give it to them. It's the easiest thing to do. Why do you want to take the path of higher resistance? So being resilient is very important. And also drowning out, again, what people are saying. And it was really disheartening when you make a journey, you do 400 trials as they told you, you bring a product and then they tell you it's rubbish. It's not easy. And the last lesson, because she's going on putting the time thing up, I want to tell you is the mom guilt. So no one tells you when you're going to be a mom, what is mom guilt? And people tell you, you know, theek ho jayega. Let me break it down here. It never goes away. It's always there. It's there to stay. If you've ever heard Indra Nooyi speak, she's the CEO of PepsiCo. She says, you can be a great leader and you can be a great mother, but it's a trade-off. You're not going to do either or. You will juggle. So every time I miss my son's bedtime, I feel bad. If I miss an event at school, I feel bad. But I know that what I'm giving to him is the vision of what an ambitious mother, an ambitious person, and someone who's resilient is going to be. In my actions as a parent, you know, it's very common in Indian culture to say, "Padhai nahi kar raha hai, dekho isko. Khana nahi kha raha hai, dekho isko. Shaitani bahut kar raha hai, dekho isko." Like it's always on the mom. And soon many of you will become mothers and you will understand what I'm saying is true. It's not my onus. I can't win every battle. And that's the first thing I had to make peace with, because it really affects you. Especially when my son is 5, guys, so I'm really new at this, okay? And it does make you feel even more guilty. But when you realize that your ultimate responsibility as a parent is to make sure that he's going to a good school, he has great values, he has his meals on time, he's well protected and taken care of and loved, your job is done. That is your core responsibility. And that's what I tell myself every day, because if I can make the time to make sure that he feels loved, he feels safe and secure, he feels comfortable to come and talk to me about anything, even though mama is on a video call, it's okay, I won. So I'm going to leave you with this. And this is the only reason I carried this piece of paper. There is no right path to success. The unconventional path, the one filled with uncertainty, risk, and the need to constantly prove yourself, is the one that leads to the most impact. So what if I'm a chef with no sense of smell? My disability told me to break the norms, to challenge the rules, to be resilient, to be adaptable, and above all, to believe in yourself when no one else does. Thank you so much for your time today.